Namaste, Pranam, Gita Dhyanam. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitam Ritavarshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Ambatva Manusandadhami Bhagavad Gite Bhavadveshinim. Oh Bhagavad Gita, with which Lord Narayana himself gave enlightenment to Arjuna. The ancient sage Vyasa included it in the Mahabharata. O goddess, showerer of the nectar-like knowledge of non-dualism contained in your 18 chapters. O my affectionate mother, the destroyer of rebirth, I meditate upon thee. Krishna Vandana. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kansa Chanura Mardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadguru. Son of Vasudeva, the slayer of Kansa and Chanur, extreme delight for Mother Devaki, O Lord Krishna, the supreme teacher of the universe, my salutations to you. Srimad Bhagavad Gita, the Dnyaan Vidyaan Yoga, 7th Adhyay of this discourse of Sri Krishna and Arjuna, Sri Krishna Arjuna Samvadi, that we are going to read today the 6th Shloka. Yesterday in our previous reading, the 5th Shloka, Sri Krishna told us about his pervading the lower as well as the higher nature of the Prakriti. He had told us what is lower Prakriti, what is higher Prakriti. Shri Krishna said, Apareya mitastvanyam prakritim vidhi me param jiva bhūtāni mahabaho yayedam dharyate jagat. What I told you in the previous 4th Shloka about the 5 gross elements and the 3 internal faculties, the 8-fold projection of my Prakriti with earth, fire, water, air and the space, the 5 gross elements and the 3 internal faculties of mind, intellect and the I consciousness, egotism. These 3 constitute but the lower nature of my Prakriti, Sri Krishna says. And you see the fun. The entire universe is engrossed only in these 8-fold projections of the Prakriti. They are so much merged into these 8-fold principles of the Prakriti, they don't think. We don't think there is anything higher than that. But Sri Krishna says that this is just a lower nature of my Prakriti. Please understand, O mighty armed. He has told Arjuna, he has told us also, Mahabaho. We have to understand even a greater principle than these 8 principles. And that principle is Jiva Bhuta. The Jiva Bhutam Yayedam Dharyate Jagat, O Mahabaho. The life force, the principle, what is called as Jiva, the Jivatman, that is upholding this entire universe. If no Jiva, everything dead and gone. It has no value at all. It is only because of the life force. It is only because of that life energy. It is only because of that life principle that all this happening around is made known to us. If that life force is not there, in spite of all the 8 constituents of this universe being there, it is no use. The dead body cannot enjoy anything. The dead body cannot learn anything. The dead body cannot realize anything. There is no difference between a stone, a log of wood and the dead body, whether it is a human body or animal body or the plant body. Any body without life force is just a matter. So that was Sri Krishna's teaching to us in the 5th shloka, and today in the 6th shloka, Sri Krishna is telling, etad-yonīni bhūtāni sarvāṇītyupadhāraya. etad-yonīni bhūtāni sarvāṇītyupadhāraya. ahaṁ kṛitsnasya jagataḥ prabhavaḥ pralayas tathā. ahaṁ kṛitsnasya jagataḥ prabhavaḥ pralayah tathā. Sri Krishna says that etad-yonīni, these two that I have told you, the lower and the supreme form of the Prakriti, these two, etad-yonīni bhūtāni sarvāṇi iti upadhāraya. These two, the 8 principles that Sri Krishna taught us as the lower limbs of the Prakriti, and the higher manifestation of Prakriti as the Jiva Bhuta, the life energy. These two, the ingredients or divisions, subdivisions of the Prakriti, these two subdivisions of the Prakriti, the eightfold and the life. Consider these are just a womb from which this entire universe springs out. It is just a womb. It is just like a mother's womb from which this entire universe springs out, takes form, takes birth for that matter. Entire universe is created out of these two, the lower form of Prakriti and the higher form of Prakriti. Lower form of Prakriti, of course, the eightfold that we have seen, and the life force, the higher form. These two, Sri Krishna says, etad-yonīni bhūtāni. These are just womb of creation for this entire universe, this entire creation. Ahaṁ kṛitsnasya jagataḥ. Sri Krishna says, the whole universe, I create. I am the source of creation of this whole universe. And prabhavaḥ pralayas tathā. The creation coming into existence, sustenance, and pralaya, dissolution. I alone am responsible for this whole magic that is created by the Lord. Sri Krishna says, know that these two are the womb of all beings. Whatever comes into this universe, whatever life form we see, the living beings we see, they are nothing but they are coming up from these two principles of the Prakriti. The lower principle consisting of the eightfold, and the highest principle consisting of the life force. Once these 8 and life force, they come together, the living being takes form. These 8 principles and the life force, once they are united, comes into effect the living being, be it a man, be it animal, be it plant. That living being comes into existence with the union of these two, the lower nature of the Prakriti and the life force of the Prakriti. So Sri Krishna says, I am the origin. I am the origin from which this everything comes. And I am ultimate dissolution, where this whole universe is dissolved, is the final destruction also happens in me. I am the origin of all this, because they are all my projections. The elements of Prakriti and the life force also is my nature. Both have sprung from me. So I am the origin and dissolution of this universe. Ahaṁ kṛitsnasya jagataḥ prabhavaḥ pralayas tathā. Even the pralaya is within me. Prabhavaḥ is within me, the origin. And pralaya also is within me. Nothing else is there without me. Everything is within me, without me. Whatever you see without, the 8 gross principles and the life force also, they are very much part and parcel of me. Life has its origin in the conjugation of the sentient and the insentient. Whether it is a life form or a lifeless form. Life, the moment life enters in the lifeless form of this prakriti, it springs up to life. Till there is no life form in that jada tathā, it is jada, it is insentient. But the moment life force enters into that insentient, it becomes sentient. And everything Sri Krishna says, whether it is sentient or insentient, everything is nothing but me only. Don't think I am anyway separate, I am anyway away from these two. I am there in sentient, I am there in insentient. The difference between these two is the life force. And therefore Sri Krishna has told that this jiva bhuta, this life force, is the highest projection of my prakriti. Rest all are lower. Till the time they are insentient, till the time they are just the 5 cosmic principles of earth, water, fire, air and space. Till the time they are just 5 cosmic principles. They are insentient. The moment life enters into it and the 3 internal organs start functioning, the mind, intellect and eye consciousness gone, the maya starts, the magic starts, the play of the Lord starts then. The body bereft of life becomes corpse. Life without the instrument of the body becomes inactive. Now, just the life force, without this physical body, what can it do? There is nothing that action, that life force can do. The Jivatman, once it goes out of our body, through one of these 9 openings that we have in the body, it is said that the life force goes out from the body through one of these 9 openings, Navadvar Puri, this citadel of 9 openings, 9 gates. Nothing remains. That life force can't do anything. It doesn't have that life force, doesn't have any organs. It can't see, it can't talk, it can't smell, it can't touch, it can't hear, it can't smell. Nothing it can do. It needs body. Why it cannot do? It is a kriya. It is then like the God himself. It is like that Paramatman himself. It doesn't have to do anything. All activity is ceased then the moment the life force, for that life force. And also without life force, what can body do? So for the activity to take place, for something to happen, for karma, for kriya, the combination of these two is very much required. The body bereft of life becomes corpse, and life without instrument of the body becomes ineffective. The act of living ensues from the union of the sentient and the insentient. The one sentient which is living, dwelling inside. It is because of the coming together of these two. We are seeing all these activities. We are jumping around, we are enjoying, we are laughing, we are crying, we are happy, we are unhappy, we are joyful, we are sorrowful. Everything because of this combination of the two, of the sentient and the insentient. The act of living ensues from the union of the sentient and the insentient, the kshetrajna and the kshetra. Body is the kshetra. The indweller is the kshetrajna. one who is dwelling in this limited body. One unlimited entity is living in this limited body. The kshetrajna is dwelling inside this limited kshetra of this body. When these two come together, then the game starts. The commingling of these two prakritis, the conscious principle and the unconscious matter, is evident all over the universe. The cloud had its origin and sustenance in the akasha, in the space. The cloud, it originates there. And ultimately, it dissolves itself in the akasha only. When we see cloud in the sky, it is formed in the sky with all those water vapors. The cloud takes form and we see, oh yes, the cloud has come. That beautiful cloud with the silver lining and all that, we describe that cloud. It takes birth, for that matter, in that space. And in that space itself, eventually that cloud dissolves, it disappears. And that is what Sri Krishna says happens in this universe. The coming to origin, sustaining and dissolution. And Sri Krishna says, this is all me. Everything is happening with me. Likewise, Ishvara is the source. That like that vast space is the source for that akasha, for that cloud to take a form, to be there and then to dissolve. Like that space, like that akash, Ishvara is like that. He is eternally there. And this entire creation of universe, the sustenance of the universe, projection of the universe, and dissolution of the universe happen within that source. So Sri Krishna says that everything is occupied by me. Everything is happening in me. I am the one in which this entire universe is getting created, getting sustained, and getting dissolved. I am the ultimate. And what is this universe after all? That Sri Krishna has told us. The conjugation of the sentient and the insentient aspect of this Prakriti. Of the eightfold tattvas of the Prakriti, the lower tattvas, and the mighty life force. When they come together, this universe come into existence with the sentient and insentient beings. They all come in existence in the Lord. They are all sustained in the Lord. And they all dissolve in the Lord. So creation, preservation, destruction, everything happens within the gamut of the eternal truth. Now Sri Ramakrishna has given his own experience of how he realized this truth practically in during the period of his sadhana. He had that Vidyaan, and that is what all of us, we are also proceeding towards attaining that Vidyaan. Sri Ramakrishna says, during those days when I was subjecting myself to spiritual discipline, I wished to know what is Maya. Sri Ramakrishna says, I also wanted to know, when I was going through all those austerities of knowing what is the eternal truth. Now there was no need for him to do, for the incarnation of God, but he was doing it to teach the mankind. And he said, even at that time, I wanted to know, when I was performing the sadhana, I wanted to know, what is this Maya? How all this magic happens, how this Leela happens, how this play of God happens. Then I wish to know what Maya, the deluding power, was like. And then Sri Ramakrishna says, I saw a drop of water slowly evolving into a girl, who further grew into a maid. She begot a baby, and strangely enough, swallowed the baby too. This act of hers was repeated several times. Sri Ramakrishna realized what is this Maya, how this universe gets originated in the Maya, in the eternal truth, in the Divine Mother, in the Lord, how it gets originated, how it takes birth, how it grows, and then how that is dissolved, how that meets its end. Sri Ramakrishna saw it in that vision of a small girl having come out of that small tiny water droplet. The girl grew. She gave birth to a baby. She became mother. And what happened? This baby, this tiny infant, was devoured by the mother herself. This is what was taught to Sri Ramakrishna by the Divine Mother. This is what universe is. Everything comes into existence within the strata of the Lord, within the sphere of the Lord. Takes birth, grows, sustains, and finally everything is gulped. Everything is devoured by the Lord Himself. So that is the truth that Sri Ramakrishna learned, realized through the practical experience he had. So that was about the origin, dissolution, preservation and dissolution of the whole universe within the Lord. So this is what Sri Krishna has taught us, that nothing is beyond me. Everything that you see, sentient, insentient, they're coming and going, everything is happening within me. Don't think that anything is happening on its own. Everything is happening within me. I am the ultimate. So that was the great teaching of Sri Krishna in this 6th shloka that we have read of the Dnyāna Vidyāna Yoga, leading us slowly from Dnyāna towards Vidyāna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sri Krishna Arpanamastu. Jai Sri Ramakrishna. Jai Thakur. Jai Ma. Jai Swami.